past year or so, I have tested a ton of different backpacking gear, from budget gear to really expensive gear, ultralight gear, and also super funky gear. Heck yeah! And after testing a bunch of different gear, my favorite gear and the stuff that I choose time and time again has definitely changed. So in this video, I want to share with you what is currently in my core backpacking kit and why. Finger guns. This is my show, gosh darn. The first place I actually want to start is with my packs, too. Obviously, for most backpackers, you're not gonna have 2 packs in your core kit. You're just gonna have 1, but I want to talk about both of these bags. Okay, these 2 packs are the Light AF Eco Pack 46 liter full frame and the new REI Flash 55. I'm gonna set this to the side for just a second. This pack from Light AF was the first ultralight pack that I ever used that I felt like made me actually really interested in ultralight packs. Light AF actually makes custom bags. So there's so many features on this pack that I chose specifically, but you could really customize it however you wanted to. So this bag has this draw cord at the bottom that allows me to attach a closed cell phone pad, which you can see over here. It's got huge side pockets, massive pocket on the front. I have no hip belt pockets on this pack, but I do have a fanny pack that goes with it that I use. I did make a modification to it. It actually came with 2 pockets on the shoulder straps that I cut off and exchanged for these 2 pockets here. So this is the Chicken Tramper water bottle pocket, and this is the Gossamer Gear medium size phone pocket. This pack itself is made from a material called Eco Pack, which is a waterproof and fully recycled material, and the pack is actually seam sealed on the inside. So I don't actually use this pack with a liner or any kind of cover. If I am to be backpacking in conditions that are super wet, I will put my down sleeping bag into like a trash bag or something in the bottom of my pack.
Question about this pack for you.
Yeah.
Does it come in less drab colors?
If these colors are too muted for you, you can get it in like an army green or galaxy print. You could go wild. Just let your imagination run free. Sky's the limit. Now, I will say, this pack is not cheap. This bag itself is about $350. But I think if you are looking for a really great ultralight pack, I cannot recommend it enough. You might be wondering, if I love this one so much, why did I also include the Flash 55 as part of my core kit? Let me put this one aside and talk about the Flash 55. Goodbye, my friend. Flash 55. Before there was the Light AF, the Flash 55 was my first true love. This bag overall carries more weight better than my Light AF pack. I am not an ultralight backpacker, and so having the ability to carry heavier gear, particularly when I'm doing longer trips, is really nice. There's just like certain functions on the Flash 55 that I really appreciate. I like the option of having a pack that has a brain with a pocket, hip belt pockets, a phone pocket, and it has forward-facing water bottle pockets on either side. I do, however, have a pack liner that I use with my Flash 55 because this bag is very much not waterproof. For me, personally, both of these packs get pretty equal amounts of use, and so both of them I consider core packs. Am I pitting out?
Oh, you are?
Now, let's talk about my sleep systems. And I do have 2 full sleep systems. First, let's talk about my sleeping pads. I have 2 sleeping pads here. They are both Nemo Tensor sleeping pads. One of them is the Tensor Insulated Regular, and the other one is the Tensor Extreme Conditions. I backpack year-round. It is helpful for me to have a very warm sleeping pad when it is really cold out, and it is helpful for me to have a less warm, but still somewhat warm sleeping pad when it is very warm out. I get super cold at night, and the Nemo Tensor Extreme has been an absolute lifesaver. So I'll actually use this well into sometimes like April and find that it does a really great job of adding warmth to my sleep system overall. I consider it part of my core kit because it's more than just a winter pad to me. It's kind of like a shoulder season pad as well. And then the Tensor Insulated Regular basically takes over for the rest of the year. Now, if you are not backpacking year round, you can probably just choose whichever one of these is going to be most suitable for the coldest temperatures when you are going to be backpacking. So if you are generally a cold weather backpacker, go with the Nemo Tensor Extreme. If you're generally a warm weather backpacker, go with the tents are insulated. Cool. Also in my sleep system, I have two different closed cell foam sleeping pads here. This is the El Cordion sleeping pad from Featherstone, and this is an 1/8 inch sleeping pad from Outdoor Vitals. I reach for this sleeping pad when I am backpacking in colder temperatures. One, because I really like to have this extra layer of protection for myself when I am cooking. It gives me like something to sit on. It also provides an awesome additional layer of warmth for like when I'm sleeping. When I was in the Grand Canyon and I was concerned about things like really sharp cactuses or small rocks that might puncture my sleeping pad, this provided a lot of comfort and also peace of mind for me.
The Princess and the Pea just needed this.
If she had had a closed cell foam pad like this, she would have been like, I'm so comfortable. Guess I can't marry the prince. So yeah, if you're just gonna choose one closed cell foam pad, let it be this one. So now you might be wondering, okay, if that thing's so great, why do you also have this little thing? There are plenty of times where I am trying to keep my backpacking kit as light as possible, and I don't wanna carry the added bulk of an accordion style sleeping pad, but I know that I'm gonna want that little layer of comfort to sit on at camp, just a little padding for my butt, and so I will opt to carry this thin 1/8 inch pad. If you're going to choose one of these, this or this, you should choose this. But I find that having some sort of closed cell foam pad is very handy. Moving on, sticking with my sleep system, the pillow that I use that's in my core kit and has been in my core kit for absolutely eons is the Nemo Pillow Elite. This is my favorite backpacking pillow of all time. It's so comfortable. It feels like a real pillow. Of all the pillows I've ever tried, none have ever beat out the Pillow Elite. My Pillow Elite has been the same for a long time, but there is another piece of gear that I use with this that is new this year. So I'm gonna blow it up so I can show you that. Oh, it's just so good, man. I love it so much. This is a pillow strap. This is from a company called Pillow Strap. Oh. And then this strap goes around your sleeping pad and it holds the pillow in place so it doesn't move around at night. Pretty neat.
Whenever you're hiking out there, the animals are just like, what is this? There's colors I didn't know existed.
I know, seriously. Anyway, the few times that I've forgotten to bring my pillow strap, I have definitely missed it. And to me, that is a key sign that it belongs in my core kit. Pillow, pillow strap. Let's go ahead and wrap up talking about my sleep systems by covering the two sleeping bags I have here. So I have the Boost sleeping bag from Thermarest and my beloved Enlightened Equipment Revelation quilt. My Revelation quilt from Enlightened Equipment is a 20-degree quilt. It was the first ever quilt that I used. I fell in love with it. And as fantastic as the Revelation quilt has been, there have been a couple times that I have kind of wished that I had a sleeping bag. And that is where the Thermarest Boost has come in handy. It is a 20-degree bag that has a center zipper that actually zips closed and adds about 10 degrees of warmth to the bag. And then it also has two zippered armholes on either side that allow you to stick your arms out. So this bag basically goes from being a rectangular, very comfortable camp-style sleeping bag to a fully enclosed mummy sleeping bag with armholes. It's very versatile, it's very warm, and it's rather lightweight for what it offers. If I'm doing a longer backpacking trip, especially in warmer weather, I'm absolutely going to choose the Revelation quilt. This quilt really cannot be beat in terms of comfort and weight, but if it's a colder trip, I do want to have that added warmth that I get with the Thermarest Boost. So for me, both of these belong in my core kit. Boop and boop. So the tent that I have chosen for my core backpacking kit is still the Nemo Hornet Elite. What I love about the Nemo Hornet Elite Osmo one-person tent is that it is a super lightweight, super easy to set up tent that is fully featured. This tent is just the right amount of space for one person. There's not extra room, but it doesn't feel cramped. There's plenty of pockets for organization. You have a nice big vestibule for your gear. And all in all, I just find it to be a very well-designed, easy to set up and lightweight tent. And I haven't found anything that I like nearly as much as I love this tent. Nemo, I can't imagine loving a tent as much as I love this one, honestly. That is my tent. Let's move on. Let's talk about my stoves. So I do actually have two different stoves here. This is the MSR Switch stove system. It is new for this year. It just came out. And the very cool thing about the Switch system is that it's actually designed to be used with the included pot, but also to be used with like whatever other type of pot or pan or other cooked device you want. So say you wanted to put like a frying pan on here and make pancakes, you can do all of that. So if you are looking for like one stove to do everything, I think the Switch is really awesome. When I'm not using the MSR Switch, that is when this guy comes in handy. This is my Tokes pot and my Soto Windmaster stove. This is a very inexpensive titanium pot and it works great. Honestly, no complaints. It's inexpensive, it's lightweight, and of all the pots that I've tried, this is the one that I continually am like, yeah, that's the one I want. Hold for dog. Stove-wise, I kind of surprised myself. I kind of surprised myself by choosing the Soto Windmaster as my core backpacking stove. I used to use the Pocket Rocket too from MSR, and then I tried the Soto Windmaster, and at first I was like, I don't really love it. But then I kept choosing to take it on backpacking trips. It wound up being the one that I picked over and over again. I find it to be very, very stable. It is a 4-pronged stove. It's got a huge base on it.
Nice.
The piezo is incredibly reliable. It boils water very quickly, and the wind proofing on it is fantastic. It is a bit annoying to pack this into this pot. You have to sort of finagle it in here by like getting this kind of in the right spot. But nonetheless, these are still the two things that I choose to take together. In addition to my Tokes pot and the Soto Windmaster stove, I also bring a little rag with me for protecting the inside bottom of my pot from my fuel canister. There you have it. That is my stove. Zzz. Stove. Zzz. So I have two things here for food storage. First up, no surprise to anyone, is my Bear Vault bear canister. This is the Bear Vault BV450. In addition to the Bear Vault, I also have the Chicken Tramper bear can key. You put this on the little nobbin and then you turn and it opens. So cool, right? This is actually just a piece of reflective tape that I put on the lid of my bear can. That just helps me see my bear can at night. I feel such a sense of comfort storing my food in a bear can that I kind of don't mind carrying the extra weight. I know some people hate bear cans because they are heavy and they are clunky, but I don't know. I just view them as like big, chunky safety blankets. For the longest time, this was the only food storage that I like to use. But over the past year or so, I have found that there are times that a bear can is really not super practical. I just had not found another type of food storage that I liked until I discovered the Atotech bear bag. What I adore about these Atotech Bear Lacquer bags is that they have a roll top feature, so you can just roll this down and buckle it, and that is so handy if all you need to use this for is for critters, because that automatically makes this bag totally critter proof, and you don't have to go through the annoying process of like lacing up and pulling tight and knotting the bear bag. But the other thing that I really love about it is the fact that it is light in color and it is easy to see everything inside this bag. And that's why it's in my core kit. Moving on.
Putting that reflective tape on your bear vault does make it easier for bears with flashlights to find it.
Let's move on to talking about my water filtration. My water filtration in my core kit continues to be my Sawyer Squeeze water filter and a Canuck 2-liter bag. This one here is actually the new version of the Canuck bag, which is the Sawyer Reservoir. This actually comes as a kit now, but this is the same system that I've been using for years now. It's just a fantastic little kit. This is where things have changed a little bit, and that is because I designed a water bottle. Are y'all tired of hearing me talk about this yet? You might be. This is the Migo that I partnered with Mazama Designs to create. This is a 1 liter or slightly over 1 liter water bottle that is designed to replace smart water bottles and be somewhere between a smart water bottle and a Nalgene alternative. They have measurements on one side that go up to 32 ounces or 1,000 milliliters. This plastic can take boiling water, so you can actually pour boiling water into here. So you have a narrow opening that fits a Sawyer Squeeze filter or any other 28 millimeter accessory. And then you also have a wide mouth opening that makes this super easy to clean and to fill. You can see this is a really soft material. So you can actually use this bottle to scoop up dirty water and then screw on the top, unscrew the cap, screw your filter on. You could use this to filter your water into a clean container. They're basically as multifunctional as possible. I have 2 of these bottles in my core backpacking kit so that I can have one of them for just plain water, and I can use the other one to add in electrolyte drink mixes, such as my favorite, which is LMNT. Speaking of, check that in here. Oh wow. LMNT is my favorite electrolyte drink mix. It has 1,000 milligrams of sodium and it comes in a wide variety of delicious flavors. As someone with a number of different health conditions that make it necessary for me to have a lot of salt, LMNT for me is absolutely crucial and is always in my core backpacking kit. I have POTS, which means I will get really dizzy if I don't have enough salt, and I also have chronic migraines. And all of those things are made so much worse when I am backpacking in the heat, when I am exerting myself, and I am sweating a bunch. But if you have ever experienced fatigue or muscle cramping or headaches due to dehydration, then chances are really good that you also need to be replenishing your electrolytes. If you haven't yet tried LMNT, you can go to the link below, which is drinklmnt.com/Miranda Goes Outside. Place an order there and you will actually get a sample pack of 8 of LMNT's most popular flavors. So you can find whichever flavor you like the best. It's so good. Let's move on to talk about some of my smaller items. Let's blast through this stuff, shall we? This is the titanium long-handled spork from Tokes. This spork is actually not my favorite long-handled spork, but it is the best spork that works with my toothbrush, which I'll get to talking about in a second. Also in my food kit, I have my Big Sky International food bag. This is really just designed to help keep your food warm while it rehydrates. Cool. Next, we have my first aid kit. First aid kits should be very personal. For example, if you get blisters really frequently, carry blister pads. If you tend to have diarrhea, carry anti-diarrhea medicine.
What is that?
I don't know. Yeah, first aid kits are personal. So I'm not gonna show you everything in my first aid kit, but there are a few things in here that I want to mention. This is like an emergency lighter. So if for some reason the piezo on my stove doesn't work, this is what I have in here just in case. I also have in here my repair kit. This thing has a needle with some thread wrapped around it. And then it also has some duct tape, very, very useful. And then also in here, I have tick remover, AKA tweezers. Last thing in my first aid kit I wanna mention, Gear Aid tenacious tape. I've used this more times than I can count, so I carry a piece of it in my first aid kit at all times. My first aid kit is basically first aid for my body and first aid for my gear. We have here my little bag of electronics, my Pad Pal pad inflator. Yes, this is in my core kit. I adore this thing. Nitecore Carbo 10,000 battery pack because we film very frequently, because I'm charging up batteries or I'm charging my phone. I do carry this battery, and this is also what I use to power my Pad Pal. I have my Nitecore rechargeable headlamp, and that, my little electronics bag. Also in my core kit, we have a knife.
A knife! No!
This is another spot where I have 2 options. Right now in my core kit, I have the Gerber dime, but the problem with the Gerber dime is that it is rather heavy. And there are features on this multi-tool that are just totally unnecessary for backpacking. So I have pulled out my old Opinel No. 8 knife. The Opinel No. 8 is a knife that I originally got to actually use for whittling. It has a simple like twist lock on it. It's just a lovely lightweight knife, and it weighs very little. But this little thing is a little bit easier to pack than this at half the size, but it is heavier. Moving on, let's talk about my poop kit, because that has changed recently. My poop kit. In my poop emoji poop pouch, I have my bidet from Human Gear. You fill this little thing up with water, and then you pop out the little tube. You chuck this on here, and then you spurt water at your bum hole, and it cleans you off. Also in here, I have my trowel, which is the Bogler Co. trowel. Adore this trowel. No trowel beats this trowel. Look no further. This is the perfect trowel. I've been carrying this gear for a while, but this is where things have changed for me recently. The US government recently made the decision to illegally fire a huge number of our Forest Service and National Park workers. This includes rangers and public land stewards, and it's primarily people who work to maintain our backcountry pit toilets, as well as just our backcountry trails in general. This is an outrage, and I wish it wasn't happening, but it is, and because of that, people like myself and those of us who recreate outside have to change things a little bit. So I have made the decision to update my poop kit to include, regardless of the regulations, wag bags. Wag bags are these little bags that you poop into, and then you store your poop in a bag such as this one, and you carry it out with you. I have also included in this little zipper pocket on the front a couple of trash bags and some extra toilet paper, and that is so that if I come across any trash on the trail, I can also just pick it up as I'm going. That is my poop kit. In addition to all of that, I of course have my cooler cloth. This is a cooler cloth that I actually designed. It says "Go Outside" on it, pun intended. I have a number of different cooler cloths that I will cycle through just depending on which one's clean at the time.
Wait, what do you mean clean at the time? Are there cooler cloths sitting around our house covered in pee?
They're not covered in pee. They're dabbed in pee.
So there is!
Also in my core kit, we have my Enlightened Equipment Torrid booties and my Teva Universal sandals. These are my camp shoes. These are my camp booties. These two things together work perfectly. My toiletries kit has shrunk a lot over the years. So in here I have this little Eco Tools soft microfiber cloth and an extremely dirty looking bar of soap. This is what I use to clean myself off at camp. This is how I will wash my face. And then we have my toothbrush. So the trail brush works really well with my Toaks long-handled spork. If you have a Toaks long-handled spork or any spork that has a small hole on the end like this one, the trail brush is perfect. It just kind of fits right in here like so, boop, and then you brush your teeth with it. I hated it when I first got it. I thought it was a very silly contraption. And then I used it a whole bunch and I fell in love with it. Trail brush. Besides that, the other things in my toiletry kit are like a tube of toothpaste, some medications and stuff. All right, we are almost at the very end. So I have here my Black Diamond Z poles, just really simple, adjustable Black Diamond Z poles. Last but not least, let's talk about some electronics. My Thermodrop thermometer. The Thermodrop is a very simple thermometer that shows you the current temperature, and it will also show you a 24-hour high and a 24-hour recorded low. I have found the Thermodrop so useful, especially when I'm testing new gear and I want to know how cold it's gotten at night and if the gear has kept me warm enough for the actual temperature. All right, last but not least, my Garmin electronics. The Garmin InReach Mini and the Garmin Instinct Solar Watch have been in my core backpacking kit for 4 or more years. Let's start by talking about the InReach Mini. Garmin InReach Mini is a satellite messenger, so this works as an SOS device, but it also allows me to send text messages and send my location to people when I'm out on a trip. But I think having something with an SOS button on it is just a huge peace of mind. So the watch that I have is the Garmin Solar Instinct S. What I love about the Garmin Instinct Solar is that I can use this to actually track my hike. So I can start this as soon as I begin hiking and it will tell me how far I've gone, how fast I've covered a certain distance, what elevation I've covered. But I also can just have this on and it will track to the Garmin app on my phone and tell me where I am on a downloaded map. I don't like to rely just on my phone for tracking because I worry about that losing battery and I worry about the accuracy of my phone's GPS. But when my phone is connecting via Bluetooth to my Garmin's GPS, that's a way more accurate system. And so I just feel much more comfortable using those two things together. Garmin's GPS for me just is like above all other GPSs I've ever tried, definitely the best. I like their map system. I like the user interface. I like all of the features. I love the fact that this charges via solar. I love how long the battery life lasts. There's just so much about it that I adore. And that covers my core backpacking kit. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is my favorite gear right now, but this is obviously subject to change. I am always testing new backpacking gear, not just to update my own kit, but mostly to help all of you make a decision for your own core backpacking kits. If you want to see me test new stuff, as well as see how this kit changes over the next year, make sure you stay tuned to my channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you outside. Bye. How about now? Yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, we got a good one. Woo! Core kit! Bye!
Good boy. Good boy, Tucker. That's a good boy.